Hello my friends and welcome. It seems like Russia has some certain success in Marinka, taking one of the streets more, but still they're struggling to get this full village under their control. They announced around 10 days ago that they've took it under control, so today they announced it once again. But the problem for the Russian army that their forces which propelled over here were totally ambushed. So yes, they've took the ground, but they were devastated with the help of the Ukrainian Stugna and other anti-tank devices. Let's watch the video. So it was filmed from the Ukrainian positions in Marinka. I published this video yesterday last night, but I wasn't sure the direction where this video was filmed. But here you can see the Russian vehicles, tanks and infantry, and obviously there is huge kaboom because of the Stugna P. It's a very effective weaponry against the tanks and everything. So today I got the confirmation that this was filmed in Marinka. The Russian forces were totally devastated over there. Not just a single vehicle, but again Russia used many of the forces for their assault, which I think is the stupid way out to attack nowadays, because we know the position of their forces for sure. Our guys launched the drones, artillery, and as you can see, Stugna P, the anti-tank missiles. Unfortunately, Russia continued to move their forces in the Bakhmut direction. Recently, they had several of the vectors here in Hromove and also directly from the Bakhmut. So their goal is to take more ground. For example, Bogdanivka, fully Kromove, Ivanivske. It looks like they have some of the forces for those attack attempts, but most of them finishes with kabooms and just demolishing of their vehicles and personnel. So they have to send more and more forces over there. At the same time, Ukraine tries to avoid direct fight with Russians in the trenches, so our guys leave the positions for a while to let artillery and drones to perform the most part of the job. Indeed, if we check out the Bakhmut city and let's go to the timeline, Russia definitely propelled quite a lot for the last 24 hours, unfortunately. But Ukraine also took some of the ground. We're speaking about the Avdiivka direction, where Russia concentrated their forces for attack. So close to Opetne, Ukraine moved further to the south towards Spartak settlement. I would consider it is as the great achievement because mostly Ukraine is on defense now in Avdiivka, and every time we take the ground it shows that Ukraine has the ambitions to counterattack. If we go to Avdiivka town, the advancement of Ukrainian army happened recently over here. In the current conditions over there, it is the awesome result to propel towards Spartak. It's just great. But as you can see over here, there is the natural obstacle, the river and the lake lines, so for sure Ukraine will not go to Spartak in the nearby future. The main thing for our forces in Avdiivka is to secure the northern part of the city, the industrial part of it, because of the only supply line which goes through this place. But Russians have no any chance to cut this road in the close perspective. From what I see, their advancement is not enough, and their attack usually stops with heavy losses. The deep state military map resource also publishes the information that Ukraine tries to regain the control over the lost territories of this industrial area. Today they published some of the videos with FPV drones. My friend, some of the videos I'm unable to show you on this platform. For that, please go to my Telegram channel. It is available in the video description just below, or you may just scan the QR code available on the screen. On Telegram, I update my audience with the current news, and there I publish something that I'm unable to publish on this platform. So see you on Telegram. And this is the situation in Avdiivka right now. It's total madness, my friends. Lots of the artillery fire. I believe it's the spot where Russia advanced recently, so Ukraine launched the artillery attack on the Russian positions. Oh, sorry, the deep state military map says that it's the Russian artillery fire on Pervomayske village, so it's not the Avdiivka direction. It seems like after all Poland influenced their protesters and they agreed to open one of the checkpoints for the Ukrainian trucks. Carl Bildt, the ex-prime minister of Sweden and now co-chair European Council of Foreign Relations, visited Dubai recently, where he got a couple of conversations with people from the Russian security intelligentsia. They say they hell-bent on continue the war against Ukraine. The minimum objective was described as occupying Odessa and Kharkiv as well, and at the same time sort of control the regime in Kyiv. So Russia still has their goal in Ukraine to put their puppet government to get rid of the independent Ukraine. So about what peace deal are we going to talk with Russians? Well, it is understandable that Russia still has their ambitions go, for example, taking Odessa or Kharkiv. Kharkiv they were not able to take even with their mighty Russian army in 2022. They were very close to the city but were pushed back with the help of the Ukrainian army, Ukrainian defense. Odessa is the different story. Because of the unique geographical position of the city, Russia needs, I think, 1 million troops to get the city under control. Not 1 million troops all around Ukraine, but 1 million troops directly fighting in attempt to get the city under control. Why is it like that? Because of many of the obstacles and just a few of the roads in this area. So for Russia to reach Odessa, they firstly need to take Mykolaiv under control. It's quite a big city and also has the unique geographical position with some of the rivers and bridges. Ukraine may cut all of those bridges, and Russians tried to get Mykolaiv under control but failed with that. So their goal, as you can see from this green road, was to go to Voznesensk and then return back to Odessa. Probably it's the only way, because if you take this road, it also goes across at least 4 of the Limans, so water obstacles. In both of the cases, Russia has to take Mykolaiv under control. If they leave this city behind the front lines, that is what they did before, Ukrainian defense will cut their supply lines for sure. Advancing from Transnistria is total nonsense. They don't have enough forces and don't have enough motivation for this operation, and the forces are not enough even to reach Odessa in that case. Well, they can use those forces as the backup, but they're just around 3,000 soldiers, not more than that. Ukraine has much more resources in this region. And also recently Russia moved across the Dnieper River, so for them to advance to Odessa, they firstly need to land across this river, the biggest river in Ukraine, Dnipro, take Kherson under control, take Mykolaiv under control, and then move to Odessa. I think it's unachievable goal for the current Russian army. Now Russia wants to stop the military support of Ukraine, and they also want to freeze this war for a certain period of time, for example 4 years or maybe 5 years, and then restart it once again with modernized new army. We see how they increased their military budget. The next year it will be more by 70%. It's just crazy number. So they oriented for the war, for the prolongation. So there is no any sense for Ukraine to start negotiations just right now with all of those territories occupied and with Russian ambitions to take more ground, more cities, and even Kyiv under control. Putin's goal is totally understandable. One issue we have that currently we're losing the support from many of the allies. Hopefully this situation will be changed in the nearby future, because in other case Ukraine might use army men more to compensate the loss in supplies, and that is how we're gonna have more losses. Unfortunately, we want to avoid that and use artillery drones more against the Russian army rather than to fight with them in direct fight in the trenches. Yes, it is happening also on the front lines, but mostly the tactics for Ukraine is to use the long-range weaponry. Also, President Zelensky said about the same stuff today on his conference. Putin will not stop in Ukraine. He will continue. If he achieves his goal successfully, if he puts his puppet government in Ukraine, he'll continue further to the Baltic countries, maybe even to Poland, to Moldova for sure. The only way to stop the Russian aggression is to strike it back with heavy resistance. And hopefully we're gonna obtain everything to resist successfully against the Russian aggression. North Korea continued to supply their munition to the Russian Federation Federation using the sea transport. For example, this is the port where they put the containers full of weaponry, it's already known, and in a while all of those containers were loaded on the ship. The vessel went to the Russian Federation, unloaded there for the trains, and this weaponry probably is already on the front lines, because it was filmed on October 10, so quite a while ago. The bad news is that it lasted not for a long time. Protesters again put their truck in front of the other tracks, Ukrainian tracks, saying that this one is broken, but we understand that they are blocking the way again. Well, I just hope that situation improves after Donald Tusk got the position of the Prime Minister in Poland. So Morawiecki was dismissed, and now after elections Tusk is the new Prime Minister. He promised to solve the issue for the Ukrainian trucks. According to the latest video confirmation, the Polish police woke up and started to push protesters away from the Ukrainian border. It shows again that it was politically motivated conflict before. The pro-Russian forces in Poland performed their performance against Ukraine, and previous Polish politicians supported that by doing nothing. But exactly at the same day that Donald Tusk got his power in parliament, police started to act. Wow, miracle. Meanwhile, President Zelensky is on his visit to the United States of America. They'll have the meeting with President Joe Biden tomorrow. So today is the public speech day for Zelensky in universities and in other places. I hope that in the coming days the issue with the military support of Ukraine will be solved. Alright, I just received the information that Russia tried to storm Mykilsky, it's the Wuhledar direction, but again was kaboomed with the help of the FPV drones and artillery, usual stuff of the Russian army recently. Yet we have just a single photo. Hopefully we're gonna obtain full video for me to share with you on Telegram and also partially over here. Some of my followers say that it's winter, why there is no snow. My friends, in Ukraine, snow is not lying all the winter. Usually we have the temperature fluctuations around 0. So one day you may have the snow, the other day it's gonna be +7 and snow will just melt, and the next day it will be cold again and all of the mud will be robust once again, and the snow next day. So it's very dynamic winter in Ukraine. The United Kingdom together with Norway created the coalition to support Ukraine on the sea, to increase the capability of Ukraine to resist against the Russian threats in the Black Sea. They will supply some of the ships and equipment that will help Ukraine to demine the areas of the Black Sea, and also will help to eliminate or minimize the threat from the Russian Black Sea Marine Fleet. Russia put the Contact 1 dynamic armor on their military vans, and they think that it should help against the drone attacks. But what it will do, it will just finish this vehicle because there is explosives inside, and this vehicle has no any armor. There should be the armor to absorb the energy of the dynamic armor explosion. Here it will be just the huge kaboom of the vehicle. So what are they thinking about? Strange solutions from the Russian engineering. My friends, don't forget to press the like to this video. By doing so, you help my channel a lot. Also, if you want to support my job, there will be some of the links in the video description just below. Special thanks for my Patreon supporters and the sponsors of my channel. Guys, thank you so much for your kind support. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are and have a great time.